The spring season, and with spring starts the change at least into warmer weather and heading out, and maybe even heading out to check out the arts. And from one New England capital to another, Wednesday, the Bushnell in Hartford will be hosting one of my absolute favorites, the Boston Pops Orchestra. And it is an absolute pleasure to be joined this morning by their conductor, Keith Lockhart. Hello there.
Hey,
it's
good to see you.
An honor to see you, sir.
It's such a lovely day.
Well, yeah. Well, we rolled out the red carpet for you, as the case may be. 23rd year you're starting out there.
I'm starting my 24th year, actually.
Oh, wow, okay.
But who's counting?
The second longest tenure with the Boston Pops, behind
Arthur Fiedler, whom, of course, died in his 50th season. John Williams was in between us. He was there 13 years. And it's, who knew?
Your name is obviously synonymous with one of the greatest orchestras in the country. What's it like? Do you still, after 2 decades plus, get just the butterflies in your stomach when you take the podium, or is it old hat by now?
Well, some of each. I mean, I've done nearly 2,000 concerts with the orchestra, wow. and at that point, obviously, if you were a nervous wreck every time you did one, you'd be dead by now. But I think the thing is, as any performer, you're still excited to go out and perform, and when you're not, it's time to seek new employment.
What is the one thing that still gives you the ah moment?
Oh, the ah moment. It may sound cliched, but anytime we have an audience whom I can feel is right with us and really excited that they were there, and they say, "Thank God there's a Boston Pops," that's an ah moment in itself.
I've heard that before. There are a number of artists who have said, "You know what? I could be as good as I am, but if the audience isn't that extra, that last individual part of the orchestra, then it's not going to fire on."
And you can sense that even as a conductor when you're not facing the audience. You can tell when they're there, and it doesn't matter if you're in Carnegie Hall or in a ball field in Texas or in the Bushnell. It's the same that way.
Sure. Well, let's talk about what brings you to town. You're going to be doing a show at the Bushnell.
Well, we're bringing kind of a micro tour here and then down the East Coast, and it's been a while since we've come to Hartford. We're bringing a concert called The Best of the Boston Pops, which features on the first half really kind of the core of our repertory, the great American composers, Copland, Bernstein, Gershwin, Duke Ellington. In the second half of the program, we kind of go a little crazy. We're featuring some music from my illustrious predecessor, John Williams, which is, of course, is a universal calling card for us, a big part of our repertoire. Yes. We're playing some jazz, we're playing a little Queen, a little Bohemian Rhapsody while we're at it, and asking the audience to join us in a sing-along. So we'll be fully participatory.
I'll tell you, though, and that's what hooked me with the Boston Pops. I had been listening, and I'd worked briefly in Boston, and I remember coming home one night and listening to the simulcast on the radio, and the orchestra broke out into one of my favorite instrumentals always, Mason Williams' Classical Gas. And that's when I went, God, these guys are good. I mean, just because you expect an orchestra to stay within, color within the lines, but you guys don't.
Well, that's, I use this line all the time. Arthur Fiedler once famously said, "We only play one kind of music at the Boston Pops, the good kind."
I love it. And you're doing the good kind as well.
We try really hard.
Fantastic. Yes. Tickets are still available at the Bushnell. If you have not, I mean, look, if you're familiar with the Boston Pops, but until you've seen them up close and personal,
totally different
really
experience. I mean, you may watch the 4th of July and say, "Wow, the Boston Pops is great," but the energy of being in a live concert, especially in more intimate space than the Esplanade on the 4th of July.
Because for many people, it's a bucket list thing, but now you get a chance to mark that off. Conductor, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you.